It's all his? What does that even mean, and what does it have to do with money management? In this video, I'm going to explain this phrase that has been a guide in my life for the last 12 years. So let's talk about it. I'm just starting this channel, and a lot of the experts would say, don't make a video like this. It's not SEO optimized. It's not focusing on growth, but I don't care. I mean, I do care. Don't get me wrong. I've been diligently researching how to do this YouTube thing well, but I also want to make videos that I'm just excited to make, and I really wanted to make sure anyone who finds my channel knows what I mean when I say it's all his. If God sees fit to grow this channel, then hopefully this video will come in handy to just explain what the channel name means and what the vision is overall. But even if he doesn't, this is a great opportunity for me to practice those things that new YouTubers need help with, like talking to the camera and editing and thinking about thumbnails and thinking about titles and thinking about keyword research. And it's kind of a lot, you guys. So where did I get the name for this channel? It comes straight out of the Bible. So why don't you come with me to the Word of God, and I'll show you one of my favorite passages that talks about how it's all his.
All right, we are looking here at the book of First Chronicles. It is a historical book found in the Old Testament, and it chronicles the history of the nation of Israel up until the end of the reign of King David. You'll see here that I am using the ESV online version. You can follow along in any version that you have if you would like to. I just tend to use the ESV most. I really like it as a great word-for-word translation. So we are going to be looking at a few different scriptures, but it's important when you study the Bible that you aren't pulling a verse out of its original context. Context is king in Bible study. So we are going to look here at what's happening overall before I show you the specific verses that I love that are some of many of the verses that are the inspiration for it's all his. So what's happening here with the nation of Israel? King David is at the end of his life. His son Solomon will be taking over as king soon, and Solomon will be building the temple. But David is the one who is basically fundraising what is needed to build the temple. So we see that here starting in verse 29. He and all of Israel are giving generously toward this building project. And you can see it's listed here in verse 3, just very specifically because of his devotion to the house of his God. He is giving to build the house of his God, and it specifically lays out amounts. He asks the people, will you willingly give today to the Lord? And they willingly, free will offerings, it says, also give. So they're just giving an abundance toward the building of this huge, beautiful temple project. I love verse 9. The people rejoiced because they had given willingly. For with a whole heart they offered freely to the Lord, and King David also rejoiced greatly. So that's where we get into our next section, where David is going to pray in front of all of his people and bless the Lord and pray and just thank him for his abundance. We'll pick up in verse 11 here. So yours, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory and the majesty, for all that is in the heavens and the earth is yours. I love that. We see in verse 12, both riches and honor come from you, and you rule over all. We see that anything we have, whether it be riches or honor, they come from God to us. And we move on to verse 14. I love the humility here of King David. But who am I and what is my people that we should be able to offer? For all things come from you, and of your own have we given you. It's just a great reminder that everything we have comes from the Lord, and anything that we give back to him, it was already his to begin with. He just allowed us to store it for a while. And then if you jump to verse 16, O Lord our God, all this abundance that we have provided for building you a house for your holy name comes from your hand and is all your own. There are many verses in the Bible that talk about God being the owner of all. He's the creator of all, and just his sovereignty over all. But these are just some of my favorite ones that have really impacted my thinking about how I view money, possessions, anything that the Lord has given me, because it's all his.
So that's basically it. Everything belongs to God. It is his sovereign hand that allows us any money or possessions or opportunities, and even the physical and mental abilities to earn those things all come from his hand. It all belongs to him, and he gets to decide what portion he allows each of us to manage. And that's been my goal ever since I became a Christian over 12 years ago. It's been one of the sayings that my husband and I have been using ever since. And it's the vision behind this channel. It's all his, helping you manage God's money, God's way, for God's glory. And that's what we're supposed to do. God decides how much we get to manage, and our job is to manage it faithfully for his glory. So what do you think? Have you ever thought about money in this way? Is it encouraging for you, or maybe a little bit challenging? Leave me a comment and I'd love to discuss it more, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.